It's 6 p.m. I'd like to call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Item 2, roll call. I am Michael Loth, Eric Brown.
Present.
And Tom Barney.
Here.
Item 3, agenda revisions and approval.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. That motion carries. Item 4, approval of minutes, approval of the May 8th, 2023 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Item 5, consent review and discuss May vouchers. Brittany, I know you have a couple of questions there.
Yes, I received 5 questions today regarding the vouchers. The first one was regarding $970.65 to EBSCO Information Services Flipster Online Magazine. Those are magazines that are purchased through Common School Library Fund, so they are magazines that are housed inside our library. I did get a list of the names of the magazines, and just so you're aware, it is our high school library. So the magazines are available to any of the high school students. The names of the magazines are Scientific American, Rolling Stone, Runner's World, People, Milwaukee Magazine, This Old House, Architectural Digest, Midwest Living, and The Atlantic.
Okay, they sound wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. The second question that I received was regarding a check for $440 to Ozaki County GHS inspection. That's the high school inspection. This one is for, well, this particular check is for the inspection of our kitchen at the high school. We have to have an inspection in each one of our kitchens, so every one of our schools has this inspection. By the USDA requires 2 school food safety inspections each year. This is one of the 2, so you should have seen one of these inspections for each one of our sites.
Why is Ozaki County doing it?
Waukesha, Ozaki County are together, so they do all of them.
Washington, Ozaki?
Washington, Ozaki County are together, correct.
And it's the health department, or who's doing it?
The health department.
Okay.
The school food safety inspections are done by the health department.
Okay,
yes.
Very good.
The next question I received was regarding a check for $20,567.75. That was the total of the check. It was for CDW for the cameras that the board approved back in February. You are correct that the total approved by the board was $45,880. A portion of that was for Nelco to install the wiring. So the portion that you see in this check is just for the cameras from CDW. There was another small amount that is going to be cut for access cameras, which are 2 small, kind of similar to Ring cameras that we have not received yet. But the larger portion of that total was Nelco, which was also in the voucher list that the board would have seen.
Thank you.
The next question that I received, I had to do a little digging on this one because I thought it was a typo in the, well, first I thought it was a typo in the question that I received, and then I thought it was a typo on the invoice. It turns out it's actually an item. So we had an electrical repair on a taco pump, and that is an item. There is such a thing as a taco pump, and I had to find out what that was.
I got to see that.
Right. When we got our new boilers at Amy Bell. This is a pump that helps push the water through the building faster, so the water stays warm to then heat the building. If we did not have this device, which was there, it just needed repairs to it because of the new boiler, the water would not move through the building fast enough and it would cool down, and then we wouldn't have as warm of rooms.
Perfect. And here I thought the board could do a tour and just get lunch and just
Then-
watch this thing just kick them out.
Then we were trying to figure out why it was called the taco pump, and I ran out of time, so.
That's completely
Okay.
fine. Thank you.
And then the final question I received, again, Ozaki County, which is Washington, Ozaki County, GHS Public Pool Renewal. That was through our Buildings and Grounds Department. That's who purchased it. The Washington Ozaki Public Health Department gives us a pool operator license every year. So to be able to have our pool, we have to have a pool operator license. So that's just the renewal for that. Those are the only questions that I received.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the consent to payment vouchers as presented and reviewed.
I'll second.
okay. Motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Okay. Okay, item 6, reports and updates. May variance report, Brittany.
In front of you today is the variance report from the beginning of the school year through May 31st, so 11 months of our school year. We are tracking to be within budget, possibly slightly under budget. In most of our areas, we are over budget in areas that we have spoke about in previous months. On April 15th, we did cut off the purchasing of new items. Items have to be purchased and received and used by students by the end of the school year. Otherwise, our auditors have the ability to move it to the next school year. So we cut off purchasing by the mid-April just so those items are able to be received by then. Obviously, items in buildings and grounds and athletics, for example, will continue as we have spring sports and we continue to have buildings and grounds needs. So not everything is cut off. So those purchases are still coming through. We have until July 15th to pay any of our items for this school year. We have until July 15th. Otherwise, any item received after that will move on to the next school year. Spending in the general fund, we are about 2.24% less spent this time this year than last year. We do have $600,000 encumbered currently. That's more than we did last year at this time. One of the items that I wanted the board to be aware of is salaries. Salaries for June, July, and August. Even though we go through July and August, we do charge all those salaries and benefits back to June because they're part of the 2022-23 teacher contract. So those items will go back. So you'll see a journal entry or a larger expense in the month of June for those two months of salaries. One area we are tracking, as you know, is our self-funded. We have now been self-funded per this report for 5 months. We are tracking to be within budget for our first 6 months of self-funded. But as you know, there was a delay of 3 months, so we're still bringing ourselves up. So you'll see a reduced cost in employee benefits as of today. One of the areas in purchase services, we're about $400,000 less in purchases this year since last year. We're holding some invoices that we are having conversations with one of our vendors to make sure that we both agree on what's being charged on the invoice before we pay it. So that is coming to an end and you'll see those invoices go out. So that's why you see a reduced expense in the purchase services area. The other special education funds, we're on track to spending similar to we did last year at a 2.2% reduction compared to last year. Revenue for the general fund is consistent to the previous year as it is solely basically funded by property taxes and state aid. And then finally, the special education fund revenue is on track to spend pretty much equal to what we did this time last year at less than 1% of revenue coming in, and those are state and federal grants that were funded until the end of the year when we do our big transfer from Fund 10. Questions on that?
I don't have any. Anybody else?
None.
Very good, thank you. We will move on to, let's see, item 7, there is no unfinished business. Item 8A, 2023-2024 meal and milk prices. And that is Brittany Altendorf.
In front of you today is the 2023-24 meal and milk prices. We are asking that the student meal and milk prices stay the same as they are in the current year, but an increase for the adult meal prices. We're asking that the adult meal price go from $4 to $4.50 for lunch, and $2.50 to $2.65 for breakfast. You can see a calculation that we have to do that says that you take the highest paid student lunch, and then you have to add 4 things to that, and then you have to have that minimum. It does say $4.51. We're asking for $4.50 because you are able to round, so we don't have to do the $4.51. Similar to breakfast, you have to take the highest paid student breakfast price and then add the federal paid breakfast reimbursement, because we do get reimbursed for it, and then the state breakfast aid, which would then total $2.65. So again, no increase to the students, but an increase to the adult breakfast and lunch prices.
Not bad. I like the prices. Wish I could get that at work myself. And when we have aid at the district, which is not very often, but it's been very good, you know, the food has been very good. Okay, there is a motion.
Motion to move forward the positive recommendation to the full board to approve the 2023-2024 meal and milk prices.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Okay, next item is 8B1, 2023-2024 district copy paper purchase. Brittany Altendorf.
In May last month, we went out for bid for our paper for the 2023-24 school year. We contacted 3 companies: Contract Paper Group, Veritiv, and Complete Office Supply. Last year, our paper cost increased due to the economy and not being able to get paper made. So then paper distribution increased. So the cost of paper was a lot more last year than it was this year, so we did not get as much paper for the same dollar amount. This year, this coming up year, we are asking if we could go to 2 different vendors to get the best price. 840 cases of white paper would come from Complete Office Supply, and then 120 cases of multiple different colored paper would come from Veritiv. At the beginning, we'd probably get the paper in the month of July, so it's ready for the school year. Currently, we have 38 cases in the warehouse of gold, so we have distributed all the paper. There is still paper in the buildings, but it's been distributed out of our warehouse. So currently, we have 38 cases of gold, so I don't believe we would be getting gold paper, but we'd be getting the other colors. So the paper quantity is larger than it was the previous year.
Is this a 1 truckload, 2 truckloads?
The white paper is 1 truck. truckload, and then obviously the 120 is not a full truckload.
Okay.
Obviously, you get the best price, but we don't need 840 cases of color.
Sure. Okay, very good.
Motion to bring forward to the Boards of Education with a positive recommendation to order 840 cases of white paper from Complete Office Supply, not to exceed 29,400, and 120 cases of color paper from Veritiv, not to exceed $5,676 for the district throughout the 2023-2024 school year.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Next item is 8B2, 2023-2024 MJ Care contract, and that is Todd Lamb. Good evening.
Good evening.
Todd?
Yes.
Before you start, can I just say there's a correction in the recommendation? I missed the dollar amount in there when I wrote it. So if the board or the committee does approve or read the recommendation, can you please add the dollar amount of $94,000? I
Oh,
wanted to add
okay,
that before Mr.
s-
Lamb started talking.
yeah, I see the dollar sign, and so it's going to be 94,000 even?
Correct, that's my error.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Over the years, we've contracted with various different agencies for nursing services for student-specific health and nursing needs. And this past year, we have used MJ Care and have been very pleased with their service and the consistency of their service. And so we are looking to essentially renew with MJ Care for this upcoming year for the continuation of services for days that students are in session.
okay, that's it? Is the
That's it.
contract similar to last year?
It is.
I'll make a motion with a positive recommendation to the board to approve the MJ Care Therapy Staffing Agreement for the 2023-2024 school year in an amount not to exceed $94,000 using flow-through special education funds.
And I will second.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion, further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Next item, 8B3, 2023-2024 CISA 1 contract, and that is Todd Lamb again.
Each year, we have a contract with CISA for a variety of different services that are that the district needs to purchase, and many of those are special education in nature. This year, I believe all of them are special education in nature, and they are primarily based upon projected unique and low incident needs of our students for the upcoming year. Occasionally, there are amendments that need to be made throughout the year as service needs change. This year, you may notice that the amount is significantly lower than in the previous years because we are no longer going to be using CISA for our services for a teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing, and that'll be coming later on in the board meeting as a hire that we're actually making directly to the district moving forward. So this will be for the remaining services in the contract for the upcoming year for students with services indicated in their IEPs.
Okay, very good. You answered one of my questions, and almost everybody knows what that is. DHH, Deaf and Hard of Hearing acronym was
Correct.
used. So now everyone knows.
We'll add that to the list.
All right, thank you. Right, sounds good, Todd. I will take a motion
I'd like to come forward with a positive recommendation to the board for approval of the CISA 1 contract for the 23-24 school year not to exceed $171,474.99 and funded out of the flow-through special education budget.
Second.
Okay, motion by Eric Brown, second by Tom Barney. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Next item, 8B4, District Camera License Renewal. And it's Jeff Crawford.
Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good evening.
I'm bringing forward $135 for $135 at 293 licenses that are for our security camera system. They're just up on contract right now, so this is to renew it to keep them moving forward.
Okay, and I guess I don't remember if this is a 5-year lease. What is the license on a camera? I kind of felt like once we owned the camera, we were free to use it into perpetuity, but apparently that's not the case. Can you explain
Yeah,
that?
so the camera itself we own. The licensing is for the software for the back side of it that runs all the recordings and stuff like that that camera uses.
Okay,
So the physical camera, yes, we own, but this is just for like the usage of like the smart features and stuff on the camera.
okay, very good. All right, I'll take a motion.
I'd like to bring forward to the Board of Education with a positive recommendation for the purchase of 293 Genetec Advantage licenses for a total of $39,555 using the general fund.
Second.
Okay, motion by Eric Brown, second by Tom Barney. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Next item. Item 8B5, 650 student Chromebook financing. And that's, is Jeff Crawford good or Jeffrey?
Jeff's fine.
Jeff's fine. Yeah, Jeff Crawford.
All right. The next item we have is the 650. These are one-to-one Chromebooks that students use. This will be replacing half of the 300 that are going back, and then the other ones are for the high schoolers coming in. This is for the financing side of it. There's American Capital had out of the 3 bids that I got back, they were the best percentage and then financing payment amount for $50,918.45 a year.
Okay, sounds good.
Are these comparable to the Chromebooks that we've been buying, or are there something
They're a
anything
newer
different about
version
these?
of it. Yep.
Okay.
Just what it replaced. They just changed model names.
Sure.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to bring forward to the Board of Education with a positive recommendation to lease purchase Chromebooks from BDJ Tech and finance the lease purchase through a 4-year lease arrangement with American Capital in an amount not to exceed $203,673.80 with an annual P&I payment of $50,918.45 as presented and charged to the appropriate capitalization and lease accounts in the general fund.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Next item is 8B6, 65 Firefly PLTW, Project Lead the Way, laptops, purchase and financing. Yeah, Jeff Crawford.
This is for replacement of the Project Lead the Way laptops. They currently are on a lease that are set to send back. This is for 65 of them, and this is just for the price that we chose. Financing will have to go next month, but we went with Vanguard as they had the best pricing and they have a good reputation for $105,990. Oh, 89,740, sorry.
Okay.
Wrong line.
Okay.
Glad you corrected that, because I was going to ask.
Yeah, sorry.
The, do you know how old the ones are that we're replacing?
The ones right now, so the ones we got coming are 9th gen. The previous ones were 5th and 6th gen. So they're about, I'd say 5 years old, between 4 and 5 years.
Okay, very good.
I'd like to bring forward to the Board of Education with a positive recommendation for the purchase of 65 HP Firefly workstations for $89,740 from Vanguard as the winning bid for the RFP.
Second.
And Jeff, I don't know, when you show up at these meetings, it's going to be expensive.
Right. Yeah, every time.
Oh, whew.
Okay, motion by Eric Brown, second by Tom Barney. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. And last item for this evening is item 8B7, and this is Google Workspace for Education Plus. Jake Miziak.
Good evening.
Good evening.
During the 22-23 school year, we conducted an evaluation on our usage of the learning management system called Schoology. It's the learning management system that's used at the 6-12 level. At the K-5 level, we currently use Google. And after evaluating the cost and the usage of Schoology, we determined that it would be more cost-effective and it would better meet our needs to transition from Schoology to Google K-4-12. With that transition, there's some added upgrades that come along with the features that we get from Google. So there are some upgrades, including automatic rostering. So when we partner with a company, for example, some of the reading pilots that I brought forward to the Teaching and Learning Committee, they have an online component that'll let us automatically roster from their system to ours, giving our students an easier access point for those materials.
You going to have any teachers going kicking and screaming because they're addicted to Schoology?
It's kind of one of those things where there are different preferences from different teachers. So there were a number of teachers who really liked the platform of Schoology, but there were also teachers who were equally as happy that we were switching from Schoology to Google. So it wasn't to the point where everybody was happy with that switch, but to support teachers through that switch, and we had referenced this during the Teaching and Learning Committee. Julia Leeson worked at the high school on several of the professional development in-service days to support teachers in understanding how to move their materials from Schoology to Google. And then we provided teachers time to allow them to do that.
All right, good, thank you.
Does anyone here know? I thought it's a few years ago now, but I think we went to Schoology because that's what a lot of colleges were using. And it was kind of an easy slide from high school to college. Does anyone know if that's still true, or has the college setting gone to Google also?
That I don't know the answer to. I would say that colleges use a variety of learning management systems, and the functionality of them are very similar, that our kids can kind of navigate between them fairly easily.
Sure. Okay. Yes.
I'm happy to see this, but besides that, I know Schoology does have some parental emails that can be reported out for missing assignments and grades and those type of things that parents can utilize. Do we know if something similar or better will also be able to come out of Google Workspace?
So Google Classroom does have a parent email update. You can get it weekly, where it will give you assignments, things that need to be turned in. It doesn't have the parent portal piece that Schoology had. However, when we looked at usage, we didn't have a lot of parents logging into the portal. And because of the cost savings, we thought this would be equivalent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to move forward with a positive recommendation to the full board to approve the 3-year agreement with Trafera for Google Workspace Education Plus in an amount not to exceed $46,027.40 over a 3-year period funded out of the general fund.
I will second that.
Okay, motion by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. And one more motion.
Move adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion to adjourn by Tom Barney, second by Eric Brown. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries, and we are adjourned at 6:31.